What's up, y'all? It's your boy DJKillzownJones, Beatz and Bitz podcast. We in the building, man, and it's right now. It's a bunch of needless rap beef and dev drama going on right now. So I mean, Breezy just dropped into the studio, and I'm playing the game that everybody has been tripping about. Now, I talked yesterday about the dev going in on, on the person, telling the person that they was reaching or whatever about the star card system or whatever.
When they weren't. But
I'm here to report and happy to report that you do not need the star cards to play this damn game.
Well,
it ain't making it ain't making no easier, no harder. It could be purely off of skill.
No, it's not.
No, it is. I'm telling you. I'm playing
it's not.
right now because it's like, okay, you do have to do some grinding, but they did cut down a lot of the grinding that was made to unlock the different heroes. Getting into the game is easy. I would just play heroes in villains mode, heroes versus villains mode without without no buffs, no star cards, nothing. And then ranked up. I'm almost at rank 3 off of one match. I got not a whole bunch of credits. I could have actually got some more. If y'all buying the Elite Trooper Edition, make sure you peel the little stick off the back. I didn't do that because I was in between buying it early or not. But I wanted to play it, and I already started my Let's Play on it. So, and a couple of games I rented, I didn't get to finish really playing it. And between Injustice and Hellboy, Tekken with the Fatal Fury character and that, like, I just was like, yo, I gotta finish something, and I'll get back to everything else either when I get it Black Friday or from the library or rent it again or whatever. Trying to keep a healthy rotation, you know what I'm saying, Breezy? But it's not it's still it is very, very skill based. But I'm saying I'm playing it right now.
Okay, because when this all popped off, I sat down and I spent 3 hours looking into this shit. Okay, so
but that wasn't the final. It wasn't the final game though, Breezy. Let's just keep note of that it was not.
No, I'm talking about last night when everybody who has Origin accounts were allowed to play the game early because they had the trial Origin account and they got to play the game 10 hours early.
Well, no, what happened? Man, hold up, wait a minute. The trial was on last week.
It was on last night. If you have an Origin account, EA account, you got access to the game early last night.
No, it wasn't just last night. But they had it to where you could play it since last Friday. You could play the first 3 missions. You could play the multiplayer. You could pretty much play the whole, like, you could level up or progress. And if you bought the game, your stuff carry over. Now, I think last night they got the full, you were able to download the full game if you pre-ordered it. But I think that was at that was at midnight last night. That wasn't before. What I'm saying, they had the trial going last week, and your stuff you could essentially have already been grinding, and you know what I'm saying, like you would have already been. If a lot of the guys I'm playing with, I know they had either been playing since midnight last night, or they've been playing since last week, and they stuff.
Well, everything that happened last night is from what everybody played last night. And I'm assuming from what you're saying that that's the full version everybody played last night. Now, What happened was everybody who was playing the game last night found out that a lot of the things, like playing as hero characters, like specifically Darth Vader, was one of the issues. Is that in order to get Darth Vader, you had to get premium credits. And to get the premium credits, you had to buy the premium credits. You couldn't grind for the premium credits. And then, so you had to pay upwards of $80 to get Darth Vader. And then before you can play with Darth Vader, you had to grind up to a level to where you could use Darth Vader. But the only way to get to that level was through buying the credits. And so what happened was there's a huge backlash because people started getting into matches and playing in games where people were spending in excess of $200 to $300 for better guns, better healing cards, and all types of added benefits that changed the gameplay, and it became a conversation about this game is becoming pay to win. It's a pay to win platform. Because things like you had an immediate healing factor, grenades do more damage, guns do more damage, and all of those things, when you're playing against somebody new, it fucks up the balancing system and makes it become pay to win. All these posts. We started doing breakdowns of how many credits you earn per match, and the guy who did the best in the game, say if you were in first place for the game, you would earn the same amount as credits as somebody who came in last place for the match, which fucks up the whole experience situation and whatnot. And so everybody was losing their shit about it, and they asked EA to make a statement about it. And the EA community manager basically said, well, the game is fine, and there's no issues. We took our time. We balanced it properly. All you armchair developers don't know what you're talking about. Which led to more further bullshit. And like 20 to 25 some odd Reddit, tons of posts all over 4chan, tons of posts all over Facebook. You had Angry Joe, the Angry Joe Show, interviewing one of the devs who didn't even work on the game, which is like, okay, get the hell out of here. You didn't even work on the game and whatnot. And a lot of the posts I was going to read have been taken down on Reddit, but I found a timeline post which covers everything. So I'm going to read this timeline post.
Go ahead.
Okay. So this timeline post comes from Reddit. It comes from a dude named Textual Deviant. This is from a day ago. I wish I had the other post that had the full breakdown of everything. But anyway, this is a timeline. When Battlefront 2 was announced, it was revealed that instead of a season pass for maps and content, which historically has split player bases into the haves and have-nots and made it harder to find games, Battlefront 2 would offer free maps and heroes to avoid splitting the community in return. They would be offering loot crates for premium currency. While some games might offer loot boxes for cosmetic options, Battlefront 2 is using loot crates as their primary form of progression through the multiplayer content via star cards. Each class, including starfighters in the game, has 3 star cards slots that alter either your character's attributes in minor ways, your character heals when they do melee damage, for example, or your abilities. Your tracking dart is replaced with an ability that begins your healing factor immediately. This raised concerns, and it was the primary piece of feedback in the beta about a month or so ago. If players can just buy a ton of crates with premium currency, they could get some serious advantages. After the beta was over, EA and DICE came out with a statement on progression saying that they were committed to keeping it fair and outlined a few reasons how. A few of these were the most powerful forms of star cards could only be gained after reaching a certain rank. In other words, a kid with a dad's credit card couldn't buy $200 worth of crates and have all the best stuff right away. Likewise, weapons would be attained through challenges instead of randomized through loot crates. The community was, for the most part, mortified, while not exactly happy with the loot crates. It was deemed that the lesser of two evils compared to running the community with the paid maps. Well, now this talks about last night. People with Origin Access were able to access the full game for 10 hours as part of the trial process, and what they found was rather disturbing. In addition to all loot box shenanigans, it was found out that hero characters, iconic ones like Chewie, Luke, Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Princess Leia were locked. The cost credits in-game currency to unlock. Leia and Chewie and the like weren't too terribly priced, but Luke and Vader were clocked at 60,000 credits each, which players estimate could take up to 40 hours of game time to unlock. If one was just playing the game, now seems like a good time to mention that credit gain also is strange. Everyone gets more or less the same credits per game, and the amount is based off of the time of the game. Someone on the top of the scoreboard will get the same credits as someone near the bottom. Oh, it's a long post, bro. One might assume pure greed, but it's a little more insidious than that. because you can't buy these heroes with premium currency, just credits. So now players are in an uncomfortable position. Do you want to unlock arguably the most iconic characters in the entire franchise, or do you want to power up your troopers because you only get so many credits? Do you spend now and get stronger, or save up to get the heroes to play? Of course, there's a way around it. Just buy some premium currency and grab your loot boxes with that. And hey, duplicate star cards even give you more credits so you can get those heroes even faster. This concern is that they had to know the storm was coming. Progression and microtransactions were really the only complaint anyone had about the game. Most people who played the game agreed that it was great, super fun, and an easy buy. People just wanted to be assured that microtransactions were in the game, and that could have made things meaningful progress towards without having random shit. Now, since that time, since when you've gotten the game,
the
outrage in this link,
a whole lot of shit, because this dude just hit me with a regular ass blaster, and I didn't took down 3 people that had high end blaster, like they've been grinding all night with Doritos and Mountain Dew in hand.
Okay,
I'm sitting here like they are listening.
Well, let me tell you why. DICE has responded to the outrage in this link as it too long didn't read per community's demands. Prices for locked heroes is being reduced. Luke and Vader specifically are getting a price reduction by 75%, taking them from 60K in currency to 15K. Heroes like Leia, Chewie, Palpatine are going from 10K to 5K. All in all, pretty significant reductions to everyone, blah, 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 blah. So basically, they changed everything. Now, the reason they changed everything, and this is why I said this shit was big, is because when the EA community manager for the game came out and made the statement that he made, guess what happened? He got over 500,000 dislikes. You do 500,000 times $60, you're looking at $30 million.
Yeah, I mean,
they lost out on, so they had no choice but to respond.
I mean, but see, this is the thing about it. This is the thing about it, and if everybody. I'm glad that everybody actually, for once in their life, banded together to save a game that I was hyped about. You know how long I've been talking about this shit, Breezy. I've been getting on your damn nerves. So I know I've been getting on your nerves.
As of 4 hours ago, that comment from the EA dev is now at negative 700,000 votes.
I mean, but see, this is the thing about it. Until the Star Wars community.
It's not the Star Wars community. It's mostly the gaming community, because the Star Wars community isn't jumping on fucking the Star Wars game.
No, I'm saying a lot of people. You got a mixed crowd here. You got the Star Wars community. You got the Star Wars community. You got the gaming community, the EA DICE community, the FPS third person shooter community, all banded together. This has never, ever, ever happened. Ever in life has happened for a game, and I'm glad it happened for a game that I actually care about, and hopefully it'll happen for games that everybody play. The reason why I'm playing this, y'all, is to confirm or deny if this, for y'all, and it's cool. We sitting here, this little squad. I'm with all randos. We sitting up here, banded together. They didn't got raid. She didn't got just a couple of kills off. I got enough. I could get I can get a rocket trooper, flame trooper, and you could play. I'm gonna just say this because they never did specify this in the game. You can in Galactic. What's the name of this mode that I'm playing? Galactic Conquest. You can earn as you do kill streaks and stuff like in Call of Duty. You can earn depending on if you assist people. How many kills you got, how long you stayed alive, XYZ, right? And how many objectives you helped complete. You can get, oh shit, Yoda in here fucking shit up. But you can get, the heroes or whatever. They got Han up here. Well, we just took him out. So, I mean, you can get the heroes, you can get all of that. And
it was never a question whether or not you can get them or not get them. The question was, it wasn't even a question. It was the fact that they had everything locked behind. You need to pay more money to get a better experience that's more balanced with everybody else, which is the problem everyone has with microtransactions. if a microtransaction is purely a cosmetic thing, or even like maps, right? That doesn't change whether or not I can shoot you faster than you can shoot me. It, you know, that's more so skill level at that point. But when you can spend, you know, $20-$30 and get a pack of you get like better hailing ability, better bullets, better grenades, then it becomes okay, in order for me to feel competitive, I also need to spend money. And that's when it becomes just pay to win. And that's when it's no longer a fun gaming experience, because you will eventually go up against somebody who has a lot of disposable income, who can drop $1,000 and just say, I want to have all my characters maxed out with the best healing, the best damage dealing, you know, and all that other shit. Which that was one problem for there was a shooting game that had that problem that wasn't this, and then they balanced it. Well, I can't remember, but yeah.
Well, this is my QE. Oh shit, damn, boy, it got me. So I mean, I got it, and I understand why people are upset. And I'm glad that we were able to, as the gaming community as a whole, able to influence that this game, you know, I mean, will it not? I mean, this will be a game changer. Like now, you know, I mean, it's still pretty healthy. People are getting it. I think more people will get it. And if EA and DICE don't, you know, hold true on their promise, then, you know, this will be the last Star Wars Battlefront I'm gonna get. As well as like I just feel like now I think because we have not had a united front, that this bullshit has been allowed to happen for so long, and because we haven't banded together like we did now.
I mean, there's a few instances of communities banding together about this bullshit. And the problem is that it never got to this size.
No,
it never got to 200,000-300,000 plus people outright saying "fuck you, we're not buying your game." I mean, 700,000 people disliking a comment made on a half of EA, a community manager, and then you go to like, you know, Angry Joe's YouTube channel that has 802,000 some odd and then the EA response, and it has a whole bunch. Well, they didn't dislike Joe's video per se, because, you know, Joe's one of the only people they went and talked to. But if you go and look in the comment section, it's thousands of upvotes and stuff in there about the person, the mouthpiece, or whoever from EA they got to speak out about it. That you're not changing anything, blah, 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 blah. You didn't even work on the game. So right now, this is just, it's coming to fruition what John Riccitiello, who used to be the CEO, said a long time ago. And at one point, he's on record saying that he hopes to make a first-person shooter where you have to pay, you know, 25 cents every time you reload your gun. And it seems it's going to have to be one of those vigilant efforts. We're going to have to stand on the wall like this is some Game of Thrones, some shit, and constantly keep these big companies in check from not doing stuff like this. But
I mean, you got to. I mean, but see, this is the thing about it. Every other industry, when automaker or when somebody else like out there, Breezy, you know what I'm saying? Like every other industry does this shit. But we, like moviegoers, they vote with their dollars. We the only industry that, you know, and it's too many variables to control, because this game still is going to sell based upon the Star Wars fan base and what have you. But it's just, to me, I just feel like, you know, it has to be people that are going to stand up there. It has to be Angry Joe's. It has to be Jim Sterling. it has to be these
It don't have to be.
No, it needs to be because it needs to.
It doesn't need to be them.
No,
because this whole thing kicked off on Reddit, and Reddit is an amalgam community of hundreds of thousands of millions of users. Angry Joe technically came to the boat late. He's just one person that you can point to who has a big face that you can say, hey, this guy on YouTube is someone who we can say can help us do stuff. But Joe, not everybody is perfect. Everybody has flaws, but Joe doesn't. He isn't what I would call someone you could look to who will hold developers' feet to the fire.
Well, I'm just saying
he's not.
We need more people out there.
Well, I mean, 700,000 spoke up all on Reddit, and if you're talking about an individual person, I don't think you'll ever get that.
Not just individual person. I mean, well, Jim Sterling do it, but I'm saying
Jim Sterling is another. He's not good at all either, because all Jim does is shit on games that are made by small devs that are trying, and he doesn't give them the full attention, and then he kowtows to bullshit other stuff. You know, there is no true gaming person. Well, I wouldn't say there's no true. There's a couple of people I can point to that I think are pretty good, but like fucking Jim Sterling, I have my own issues with Jim Sterling. I'm gonna go ahead and disclose that.
I mean, he goes on. I will say
he goes hard on people he's allowed to go hard on. Jim Sterling is very much I'm gonna be a white knight. I'm gonna fucking put on my white cloak and armor and daggers and all that other shit and kowtow to people who don't know a goddamn thing about the industry he's a part of, and he doesn't hold anybody's feet to the fire when it comes to anything that his little clique of feministas like, and that's bullshit. And he only wants to talk about games that are made by small devs that are struggling. You know, like he makes all these videos shitting on small devs.
You've been watching him lately. He's been going hard about microtransactions and all of that.
Well, I know he's gone hard, but see, this is the thing. He's always gone hard about microtransactions, because I remember the video he made when everybody got a free Xbox 360, and he was licking the Xbox in one of his videos when he used to write for The Escapist. But the thing is Jim overall, he does not defend aspects of the gaming community that he should defend when they come under false and libelous attacks, and that's bullshit. If you want a person who's going to defend gaming and be the face of gaming, that they need to be they need to have straight parity when it comes to not only the publishers trying to fuck over the gamer, but also the news media trying to fuck over the gamer. And he can't pick and choose. To me, that's bullshit. You can't pick and choose if you're going to be the face of a community and not call out devs when they're fucking up. That's why I prefer really not even the small channels, but I prefer people like oh god, what's his name? Fuck, I forgot his name.
Breezy. You gotta have
Control. I think it's his channel's called Penguin Z or Control Alt Z or whatever, or even someone like Donkey. But they're more comedy channels. They're not really hardcore game review channels. But they have videos on their channel where they'll straight up and say, "This game is shit. Here's the reasons why it's shit. Journalists are shit. Here's the reason why they're shit." And it's like that's what needs to be happening. It needs to be a straight, unadulterated, like unbiased, this is what the shit is. And I've seen too many instances of Joe and Jim where they bend over backwards and take it up their ass on shit, and it annoys the fuck out of me, especially Joe. I've seen countless videos of Joe interviewing people at Ubisoft and interviewing, like, for instance, this EA guy, where he lets them spew absolute bullshit. And then you get people in the comment section where they're like, oh, well, you know, he doesn't want to make enemies in this industry. Who gives a fuck? Angry Joe is Angry Joe. It's not like he's hurting to buy their fucking games and review them. He's not hurting. Joe has millions of subscribers and is probably making a couple $1,000s a month on fucking YouTube. So what if he can't go to the private Ubisoft event? That doesn't stop him from getting their game and shitting on their game if it's a bad game or they have bad practices. That's what needs to happen. Quit pretending like you need to be beholden to these fucking devs because they're not paying your rent. They're just giving you a $60 game for fucking free and a free flight somewhere. Come on, son.
I mean, when they do speak up on the issues,
That by that time when that shit happens, it's be done after everybody else big done came out, and then they feel it's okay to come out and join in the talking about it. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for you to play politics and not wanting to alienate, you know, certain groups of people that might be a part of your fan base, especially when it comes to something as simple as fucking microtransactions or in-game DLC or DLC already on the disc and shit.
Joe, but Jim Sterling
is another one who's done that shit.
Well, I'm gonna say this: people need to, individual, outside of these personalities, need to do what was done in the last 24 to 48 hours. Is put the pressure on the companies to make the shit happen. Period. I mean, there's really nothing else that really can be said, but this is an unprecedented move, and it's crazy. Will it fix the game?
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, well, yeah.
It already has. They've already cut the pricing on shit, and they said they're gonna have more patches to come out to fix this shit. So yeah, it has. It's had an impact already in hours.
Well, now we need to keep the pressure. The gaming community needs to keep the pressure on these devs and vote with our dollar. We can't be like, I'm sorry to say it, we can't be like black folks that we sit up there and yell.
Black folks.
I'm just saying, because we the prime example. We can't sit up and say, hey, we won't change, but we won't do anything for the change, though.
That's a whole different conversation, bro.
I'm saying, gamers.
Whole different conversation. It's not just because, like, you can't even do that, because you had multiple eras in our generation of black people in this nation who've tried to fight for change and who actually stuck to their guns and got shot the fuck down.
Oh yeah, no,
those are two different conversations.
No, I'm saying, when you vote, it's this. I mean, it's different. It's a different conversation because it's different kinds.
It's beyond even fucking voting. If you want to see the change, if you really want change, like you as an individual want change, you're gonna have to be the person in charge, writing the laws, writing the rules. Period. None of this or putting your money in places you know you can put it to reinvest in your community. Period. Because going to fuck it, we're gonna get into this shit. Going to white folks and other Asian folks and other minority folks, shit ain't gonna happen. White folks don't think like that. White folks only think about shit when it affects them. That's when it becomes a worldwide issue. That's when everybody needs to know that they're in pain and some shit's going down. If you really want change, you have to do it yourself with those who are like-minded, such as yourself, to do the real shit. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen that other bullshit way. It's just not going to happen because everybody been asking and marching and walking and protesting and boycotting and everything else.
I mean, I agree with that. I'm saying we need to pay the right people and they'll do. I'm just telling you, because bands make them dance, breezy. So
hey, paying ain't going to do it either. Paying not going to do it either. And I'll tell you why paying ain't going to do it. If you took if you took $2 million. This is, I don't know. I think the black population is like 20 or 30% of the United States. But anyway, you took $2 million, say, from the black community. That don't compare shit to what the Koch brothers got. These motherfuckers own These motherfuckers own billions of dollars, more than the bottom 45% of America combined, let alone the entire black fucking community. So, like, bro, that don't matter. What matters is you have to save your dollars up. You have to buy the houses in your community. You have to buy the apartment complexes and buy these motherfuckers out and push them out with money. Don't even think about buying politicians because it's a waste of fucking time.
I mean, I'll say, because if we were, because we're going to get back to games, y'all, but I'm saying, if we were to say, if we go, because this is the root of the thing with EA and Activision. If all them people that were on that message board, right, on Reddit, they took their money, right, and they said, look, we finna buy the shareholders out of EA. They're like, and then we basically dictated to EA to say, this is what we want in our game. We got the money behind it. Y'all gonna get paid. Make the game $60. Put all the content in it. Get rid of all this other bullshit. They would do it. If we banded together and said, hey, we're gonna buy out the EA shareholders. I think EA is what, $500 million company.
EA is a $1 billion game studio.
Okay, so but my point of it is, we're making them the billion. So we got to find out who the shareholders are. How much?
And that's if the shareholders want to give up their shares. That's the next thing.
About it is this is the thing about it, because they see the backlash. I mean, you could pretty much force. If you can force anybody hand breathing. You just got to know.
You wouldn't be able to force EA shareholders to give up their shares unless EA itself is on the verge of bankruptcy. Shareholders do not give up shares with a company like EA.
If they keep fucking around doing this shit, they're gonna end up being bankrupt.
Not necessarily.
Well, I just feel like if the gaming community stays this riled up, and we go to game to game to game to game to game to game and game, and on every
they'll just change the business strategy to accommodate what we want. That still wouldn't make the shareholders give up their shares. You had the same thing with Nintendo with the Wii U. Wii U flopped.
But I'm saying we got one or two things. They either gonna give us what we want, or they're gonna be bankrupt because ain't nobody gonna buy it again. That's what happened in the game. Like we were saying, we might have a gaming crash here in a few years, because if these gaming companies keep pulling that shit, that's exactly what happened. Motherfuckers putting consoles out, games, the same fucking game over and over and over again. Bootlegs, they was making so many games, the same bullshit, didn't fix none of the shit in the last one.
I mean, the only way a crash like that is gonna happen is if everybody got on the same page, or like another 700,000 or even 1 million of us got on the same page and just say, no, we boycotting all of these games that have microtransactions that involve helping you get a better experience through gameplay and stuff. But the problem with that is that not everybody. Well, period. If it's gonna be period, then that means every game from every company and every studio, including small ones or big ones. But people ain't gonna get on board for that because everybody has their own.
No, but see, if enough people, what I'm saying, because
you don't need this. Listen, this is a very complex conversation, and we're really watering it down. But you don't have to have. I mean, it depends on how much you are invested or in the hole for how much your game you develop for. So, like, say for instance with Star Wars, let's say it only cost them $35 million to market, $35 million to sell. 700,000 people boycott the game, but still 1.5 million bought it. They still in the positive.
Well, I'm saying the people. Somebody need to get them 700,000 people. We need to get them riled. I'm saying we need to get them riled up, get them ready. So when it's time for the next game that pulls this bullshit, we keep doing it, and we keep doing it to the point where it gets on the news, where everybody is seeing it. It's getting on people's phones, it's getting on people's televisions, it's on every gaming YouTube channel. There is a coalition of gamers out there that are going in on microtransactions, season passes, DLC, all that shit, and just make it. Because this is the thing about gamers, and what I've noticed about a lot of these games, people do not want to be left out. And this has been a drill, y'all. This ain't nothing, but people don't want to be left out. So motherfuckers, just like people, like that's why I had to disclose what this was, y'all. Because motherfuckers, when motherfuckers get on drugs, Molly Percocet, lean, everybody wants to get on fucking lean. Everybody wants to get on when the heroin get to getting out there. Everybody want to get high because it's the trendy thing to do. Everybody want to smoke. Everybody want, like, perfect example. Don't tell my girl I bought this for. Pops. Don't nobody want to get left out in the cold because everybody wants to get on the bandwagon. So we got to make it cool to do this shit on a regular basis, Breeze. That's all I'm saying. It's gotta be if niggas can make. We finna talk about these rap niggas. All these rap niggas talk about is shooting at the ops, fucking hoes, popping pills, partying, counting money, fucking bitches. It's cool. So we gotta make this shit cool to mobilize on this gaming shit.
Making it cool ain't gonna stop people from doing what they're doing, because you gotta understand something. Listen, you gotta understand something. Doing trendy shit when you're not passionate about it means fuck all. And that's the thing. We've been doing trendy shit in various different communities for decades now, and nothing's come of it until somebody says, you know what, that trendy shit is cool, but we gotta seriously do something about it. It's like the motherfuckers on Twitter who do a hashtag but won't join in at a local march or a protest and actually be a physical representation of the little tick mark that you see on the number column. And that's the thing. It's always been people talking about DLC, microtransactions, and everything else like that. The only reason now it's such a big deal is because this has been one of the few times, and this has happened a different time. I'm sorry I can't remember the other first-person shooter that did this, but this is one of the few times where it's like, okay, one is the Star Wars intellectual property that has a huge community. It has the first-person and third-person shooter community tied into it. And this is a blatant abuse of very popular franchise, a pay-to-win franchise, because it's happened before with smaller unknown third-party titles that people just drop the game completely and the company closes up shop. But being trendy and saying, oh, well, you know, I don't like microtransactions that affect gameplay like that, that's not gonna.
I'm not saying being trendy. I'm saying it needs to be the core group needs to be passionate about it. The core group needs to be the person that's spearheaded, because like I said, I'm saying because then it becomes, because this is why the protest and shit keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Let me cook Breezy, because let me go ahead and go in. So that's why you got all these splintered factions of people who not just on the Black Lives Matter tip, but Occupy Wall Street, the motherfuckers who Planned Parenthood, they was out there deep. They had just opened up a Raising Cane's in my old hood, right? So these motherfuckers was out deep. They had a parade the other day, I think, through that same neighborhood. The Planned Parenthood motherfuckers was out there. They out here around this time of year. Motherfuckers been made, you know, summer love babies, and they getting them cut out, dropping them off, aborting them, and all that other shit. Motherfuckers out here getting Plan B, because you know it's cuffing season, so you know motherfuckers about to, you know, Breezy. So they out there in full force around the country. Heavy. They was on one end of town to the other end. They all organized. They all going to the libraries, to the food places, to the grocery store. Why can't gamers do that shit for the games and get this bullshit stopped? We did it today. We need to do it tomorrow and the next day. And I mean, shit, niggas gang banging, niggas out, beat 55, 6, you know, there's niggas around the corner from you and I, posted up on the block waiting for the ops to ride through, you know, coming over to look for, you know, to try to make a sale on their block. Why can't we do that shit? It's niggas right now in the motherfucking club, or will be in the motherfucking club. It's $2 Tuesday. You know what time it is. Motherfuckers got to pop them $50 bottles. Because, you know, the motherfuckers that can't pop $100 bottles going to be there popping them $50 and $75 bottles right now in the club. And you know they're going to be doing the bottle war shit. So why can't gamers do the same shit? It's a whole bunch of niggas.
Ain't nobody saying.
A whole bunch of
ain't nobody saying.
Breezy, hold on.
Ain't nobody saying. Okay.
Hold on. Let me finish, Breezy. Let me finish. It's a whole bunch of motherfuckers sipping, drinking lean right now, and they so much so that the head the leading brand of activists, the leading brand of lean, cough syrup, and codeine, activists had to shut they shit down because the FDA and the FTC and everybody said, you know what, motherfuckers is over here ODing, they dying. When Justin Bieber got that lean, boy, they shut that shit down. Now motherfuckers still out here still sipping lean, but they got to pay $10,000 per bottle of activists, and the price just keeps going higher and higher because niggas still sipping lean, putting Molly and perks in the lean, putting lean on the dipping the lean in the blunt. I mean the blunt in the lean, smoking the lean, putting Molly in the lean. So now they got triple lace weed and backwoods with Molly and cough syrup. Niggas is all doing all type of shit. So why, Breezy, can the gamers, most of us ain't on drugs. Maybe, I don't know. You know, niggas playing Call of Duty and 2K, smoking it up. Probably sipping lean, probably bumping Future. You know. But why can't we do it? That's all.
Okay. The thing is, there's no reason why we couldn't do it, but we have been doing it. There have been...
On this level, though.
But here's the thing. When you're talking about stuff like Planned Parenthood and something like that, everybody as a whole, specifically, well, it's for women and stuff for Planned Parenthood stuff. It affects them as a whole. With the gaming community, it does affect us as a whole because eventually microtransactions will permeate through all our games and whatnot. The thing is until it hits that community, they don't give a shit. They don't care. The sentiment most of them have, oh, I don't play fighting games. Why should I be concerned? Or I don't play racing games. Why should I be concerned? As long as my fucking MMORPG, StarCraft, whatever the fuck I'm playing is fine. I don't care. And it's not until it reaches a mass critical pour over amount where it touches their little slice of the gaming community that they want to take shit seriously. And it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Now, another reason why, as say with a Planned Parenthood protest or a Black Lives Matter protest, is because the people you want to confront about the situations that's going on that you dislike and the laws and stuff that they're passing, we know where they live. We know the buildings they work at. We know their faces. As far as EA is concerned, we know maybe a couple of the devs' Twitter handles. We might know the CEO of EA, but we don't know who the shareholders are that are demanding that he makes the games this way to maximize profits. We don't know who the fuck they are. So the only person we can hold responsible is the devs, who are only following orders from what the CEO of the company is saying. And to follow that up even further, it would help if, one, the media websites, the gaming websites, the gaming community websites actually did due diligence and wrote these articles and put these articles out, which is another big thing. Is when you have the Planned Parenthood protests and the anti-Trump protests and the Black Lives Matter protests, even these fucking Klan protests, you have news outlets and news organizations out there with fucking cameras reporting on it 24/7 across the entire spectrum of the U.S. that then bleeds over into other nations and countries. Whereas when you, and these 700,000 other people on Reddit blow up some shit, it's only on Reddit, 4chan, NeoGAF, and a couple other small gaming sites. The big gaming websites won't cover it because they right in bed with the devs, so it never gets a chance to branch out. And news organizations are not going to pick it up unless somebody from internal on their team who happens to might be their internet or, internet person, knows what it is and gets the information and wants to run about it. We saw the same shit with Gamergate, where you had a bunch of people coming out about a similar situation like this, and all the news websites, the gaming websites, wrote the exact opposite of what the movement was trying to talk about. Completely pissed on it, completely wouldn't cover it, ignored it. Then when the big organizations and the big news outlets covered it, they didn't give people enough time to actually give clear and concise points on what it's all about. They wanted to ask stupid ass questions and shit like that. Like, what is a video game? Like, come on, like they do shit like that, and it's like.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna say this though. This is what I'm gonna say about that. Because the gaming journalists have always been in the bed with the.
Not always. It's not been always.
No, I'm gonna say always because I've been reading Console Wars. I forget the brother's name who wrote the book, but they planned it said in that book that the Nintendo executives made Nintendo Power to cater and upvote. That's why you never. That's why.
But that no. That's a different conversation because Nintendo made a Nintendo thing for Nintendo. That's the police investigating the police and found the police not guilty. Of course, Nintendo is gonna pump Nintendo. But I'm talking like you go back into the early '90s, mid '90s when Game Informer wasn't purchased by GameStop and was its own entity. They had legit reviews in there where they'd shit on people. Same thing with IGN. Same thing with GameSpot. Same thing with. Game trailers, same thing with Kotaku when Brian Crescente was running that shit. Same thing with OneUp.com with Jason Lee and my other boy who now works at fucking same thing. Yeah, so it's like we've had great gaming websites that come out and actually beat power to the player. Hashtag what used to be GameStop's fucking slogan. Now it's power to the corporation. But they used to actually fucking stand on their gaming morals and leave that politics shit to the side. But now it's different. You get the motherfucker who just graduated from college with their social studies degree, deciding that they want to comment on a forum they know fucking nothing about, and then they get worldwide play on all of these organizations because they fucking the intern who's also friends with her cousin's uncle auntie who used to work for Microsoft back in the day when it just got off the ground. Like that's what this shit is. Like when you start to fucking follow the paper trail of these people, it just be like on some nepotism straight shit. And that's why most of the game companies you see now and the game reviews you see now got motherfuckers who can't even double jump when it says it on the screen for goddamn Cuphead. And it's like, this is a fucking shit show. It's a shit show.
You know, again, we are at a point in the game, in the industry where the motherfuckers gonna have to start buying. Like I said, it's gonna go back to the people buying this shit out or boycotting games that we have a big ass crash. It's going to have to go there. Otherwise, like you said, until it starts getting through everything, so when I start playing a fighting game, and like you said, they would rather do that because it's making motherfuckers money. And these dumb ass kids and these rich ass motherfuckers that just love to blow money. And they know the shit is wrong, but fuck it. I got $100 million or I got 100 racks. Nigga, I'm about to spend $2 on them motherfuckers.
And then I want to throw some more fuel on this. And then you think about it, they've had conferences about catering to what they call whales at GDC, Game Developer Conference, meant specifically for game devs. And what a whale is, for people who don't know, it's some motherfucker with a ton of money who they can sell this microtransaction shit to, that Bejeweled Blitz Candy Crush face. They trying to find, you know, that person on your Facebook on Candy Crush that's like level 200 and some shit thousand because he done spent $500 on like 2 million lives, 600 gems, and some other extra shit. That's who they're trying to cater to. And then these people have kids, and then their kids grow up and play these games, and with an unlimited supply of funds, because of their whale parents or whale family, however you want to cut it, they get in these games and they just naturally expect that shit. See, they're getting these kids in to the microtransaction fiasco through the mobile games. And so when they get the console games, they just already expect that shit. So it's a never-ending fucking war of this shit. Now, you really want to counter this shit. You really want to counter it and nip this shit in the butt. You just have a straight boycott across the industry, not from the gamer standpoint, but from the dev standpoint. Because hold on. But let me stop right there, Breezy.
Motherfuckers ain't about to do that shit, Breezy. You know motherfuckers got kids and shit. You know that they ain't finna do that shit.
I know they not. I know they not finna do that. I know they not finna do that because they got bills to pay.
Wait a minute, hold on.
I know.
The CEO of Respawn said, I think that creativity is still going. Are you fucking kidding? No, they ain't finna.
I know they not finna. I know they not finna do it because they got their own bottom line and bills and shit to pay. But here's the thing: if you go to the source,
it's like telling dope man to stop selling dope. That nigga
well, here's the thing.
Sell dope.
Well, not necessarily. Because if you listen, no. If the dude on the block, listen, if the dude on the block has a way to supplement his income, the same amount of what he's earning selling dope with less risk, he'd switch up. There's no job out there right now where you can make $2,000 or $3,000+ in 4 hours with least risk. And that's the thing. Everybody is going to do some gangster shit like that because it's easy money, even though it comes with an increased risk. But imagine if you can make the same money with less risk, you'd switch up. And that's the thing, is like, this is why you're seeing the resurgence of shit like the Cupheads and a lot of these 2D style games way back from the 80s, 90s, is because you have people our age that are on that nostalgia train who like the shit from the 80s, 90s and want that shit again. And that's why it's on and popping like fucking fried chicken in the kitchen. So in order, I think, for everything to really change, all of these professional devs, unfortunately, make their own smaller studio, save their money up, make a small studio, 10, 20 people, whatever. And then, like we had a conversation a few days ago, maybe crowdsource some shit and make a bunch of small titles to get your money up, and then approach them for a different type of deal, like that's a percentage and not where they can buy your company out. Because as long as the Ubisofts, the EAs, the well, it really is Ubisoft, no, EA and Activision primarily. As long as the EA and the Activisions continue to pump and push for this shit, the more it's going to kind of be the norm. And here's the thing. The big CEOs of other companies, the Sonys, the Nintendos, the Microsofts, they themselves can come out and say, no, we don't want microtransactions in this game we're commissioning you guys to make for us. We don't want that.
But see, they ain't gonna.
No, they're not, because their whole
money.
Yes,
their whole business model is based
making money. When you have a company, your purpose is making money. That's the whole point of it all. But I'm saying, as a CEO, you have a choice on whether on how you run your company and what the mindset of your company is as the CEO. Saying, if you look at people like Bill Gates, Tesla, Virgin Mobile guy, Richard Branson, these guys have corporations, but the corporations that they run aren't necessarily at the expense of the consumer and trying to fucking nickel and dime the consumer. It's on delivering a good and quality product and making sure it's good. Now, granted, Windows 10 missed me with that shit. Windows 8 missed me with that shit. Those were terrible. Cell phone lines, airlines, good airline, good cell phone service. Bill Gates computers, for the most part, Windows 7 was the best one besides XP. You go to Tesla shit, his cars, his batteries, all that other shit is fire shit, and he has a business model of, look, I want to do adventurous shit. It's all comes from the top down. How the corporate culture is formed is from the top down, and if the top of the corporate culture is shit, then the bottom's gonna be shit. So that's why when you look at a lot of these studios and they're like, oh, we got to do microtransactions and there's armchair devs and whatnot, like that's the part of the corporate culture leaking out, and you can see how fucking shit some of these people are. And I hate to group them all together in a whole like that, because I know not everybody in the company is like that, but they all are affected by that shit.
See, the thing about it is, all they care about is the motherfucking money, and until you get these damn kids off these damn microtransaction highs, then you get these damn microtransaction your auntie, shit, my mama, your mama, everybody off of fucking Candy Crush, take away their goddamn phone and everything else. Shit. My girl was telling me her dad right motherfucking now still buying Candy Crush levels and shit. Now. And I'm like, you know, it's a problem when motherfuckers 50, 60, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 playing motherfucking Candy Crush and pumping money into these motherfuckers. And then they had a panel at PAX, one of the recent PAX, talking about how, it's here and how they tried to Like the dude that did War on the Tanks was like, yo, we try to make the shit balanced. It's cosmetic. You might get a stronger weapon, but your shit might move slow, or you know what I'm saying, or your shit might be fast, but your weapons is shitty. Like, and I'm playing the game just so we could spot check if some of this shit is actually changed, because motherfuckers can take their time and shit.
Yeah.
But I'm actually getting here. I done got a few kills. It's about the game close. The game ain't been no. It's been real close. Everybody been gun ho, lone hero and shit. We got it's team deathmatch we playing, or what's the name of this shit? Strike. So, we just in this bitch, just everybody running around. Somebody just threw a grenade and killed me. Okay, well, hey, I got caught lacking. But I mean, shit. It just my whole thing to this, and we're gonna move on to the other two topics real quick because we ran this shit into the motherfucking ground. But see, I like these shows because me and you be going in, and I until we get these damn crackheads. I mean these micro transaction crackheads off of these damn phones and off of fucking you niggas out there buying 2K points. You niggas wasn't even buying DLC, but now niggas trying to get them fucking Jordans on motherfucking LeVar Ball and shit, trying to get Leandro out of jail and shit, or trying to put him in the game, but they won't because the nigga locked up right now. And I think that's a whole other topic, but I think the niggas that he was with stole the shit that he didn't get caught up because it's him. But anyway, and it could all be hype. But anyway, yeah, man, till that shit stop, we just gonna keep going. So on to these little rap niggas who could be potential whales in the gaming industry. Because niggas buying, I done seen niggas buy 2-3. Explain to me. Well, I don't know. I don't want to count niggas' pockets, but I saw motherfuckers out here buying 2-3 Xboxes for the whole damn team. Call of Duty and 2K. All the nigga shit, right? All together. But these niggas out here beefing for no goddamn all these fucking raps. So you got this nigga Trippe Redd, right? He just did the song with he about to do a song with Lil Wayne, did a song with Drum. He was talking about that earlier this week, right? He was fucking with this dude named Tekashi 6ix9ine, right? Tekashi 6ix9ine he was bubbling or whatever. They was linking up and they was bubbling or whatever, right? Uh-huh. And so Tekashi 6ix9ine gets accused of molesting this like underage girl or whatever after the show. Now, nothing ever came of it. He never got charged. He never got convicted. I think they wanted to get him for questioning, but he never was arrested. He never was convicted. He was never charged. Nothing. He was just accused, right? They didn't have no tangible evidence. The shit didn't, gone, But this nigga went hard. When I tell you this nigga went hard, trying to go, basically dissing himself. He like, man, fuck that nigga. He a bitch ass, molesting ass nigga, and blah blah blah. He was going super hard just to say. And all he had to say was, yo, I collaborated with dude. You know what I'm saying? I did music with bro. Bro has been accused of some very, very harsh things or whatever. And, at this time, while what's the word I'm looking for? While we've collaborated in the past, I will no longer collaborate, and me or my team are not associated with this artist and his brand until further notice or whatever. We wish him the best in this time, but we are not affiliated. We did some song, put a press release out. This nigga gets on Instagram. Yeah, man, fuck that nigga, Tekashi 6ix9ine. We ain't with that shit. I'm clouded up. I got more followers. I got more money. Suck my dick. like he just went off, and he kept going off to some niggas that was from his hood. He was in New York. This nigga walking around, he just and then he walks into this building, and some niggas that knew this nigga, right, beat the fuck out of him and his boys. So now these niggas back beefing because this motherfucker had to take it too fucking far. And I don't understand these niggas getting all this goddamn money. These niggas beefing over bullshit. You got motherfucking Xxtentacion mad at ugly guy because this nigga tweeted a wrong story and it started bubbling because motherfuckers, he was like free X and motherfuckers started digging up old shit. So this nigga Xxtentacion blacked on this nigga ugly guy. So this nigga ugly guy talking about some, well, you know, we ain't scared of Xxtentacion. This is emotional ass nigga, and you know he always emotional and shit like this, and you know, and I'm like, you niggas ain't even in the same state. And then for some fucking reason, Migos jump on this nigga Xxtentacion for reasons fucking unknown. Like these niggas just run up on this nigga, beat this nigga down, and was on camera. I'm just trying to figure out why the fuck is these niggas out here beefing when you getting all this fucking money over bullshit? I mean, Breezy, can you help me? Can you help me out with this shit? Can you please help me make sense of this bullshit? Cause I'm trying to figure this shit out. I'm trying to figure it out.
They ain't matured none.
Oh, but I mean, ain't nobody.
That's what it boiled down to. Most of these. See, here's the problem. Is I forget who said it, but there was a rapper. I can't remember. I think it might have been Jay-Z, and he said, "I moved out the hood to change myself or to change my environment. Why would you think I stayed the same?" or some shit like that. And the problem is you get these dudes who very much died into that hood shit, right? They died and true into it, and they bring their homies along who also died into that hood, you know, died deep into that hood shit. And they move out into a better neighborhood, but they still keep trying to do that hood shit. And they don't understand that they made it out. They ain't no longer gotta carry a strap or go around peacock and go around strong talking like they gonna roll up on somebody or roll up on somebody. It's like, dude, you made it out. You don't gotta carry that type of aggression no more. And that's the problem. Is like when you come up in that environment and you doing that type of shit, you keep that aggression even when you leave the hood. I had to go through that shit, and it took me a couple years to literally decompress and get past that. Honestly, that trauma that happened, because when I used to walk around, bro, I stayed with me some weapons. Period. I stayed with weapons, quick to get pissed off, quick to just swing on the person just because I don't like the way you're looking at me. And time to get out of that mindset. And that's the thing, is they ain't got nobody around them to tell them like, look, no, you being extra right now. It ain't that serious. No, they ain't coming at you sideways. The dude just said, have a nice day. He ain't trying to shit on you, bro. He just saying, have a nice day. It's like, bro, it's gonna keep going on until they finally click that they ain't in the hood no more and they can actually relax.
But see, this is my thing, Gid. This is they never do get this shit. Like they never. My whole thing is they give these niggas money, and they act a donkey. They don't never give it to niggas who are gonna keep the money. They get it, and it's not. I'm not hating on them. I'm just saying, like, it just disappoints me because I might be fucking with them musically. Like, this is the thing about me though. Like, you know, Breezy, no, I ain't never been no hater. I be turning up to these niggas. Breezy can't stand these niggas. Can't stand them.
They ain't talking about nothing.
No, but I be like getting. I be like to get. You know, like to get. I be liking to get turned up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not. I can't even talk. I like to turn up. Shit, I'm tired. I like to turn up. I like to turn up, like to have fun. I don't be taking these niggas serious. I don't be thinking these is the hardest rappers of all time. And you know, I have fun listening to the music. Like I just turn up to it. Like, but it saddens me that I like a rapper, and then 5 minutes later he either getting gunned down, or he getting gunned down, or he go to jail like Big Bill. Keep going to jail, can't stay. It took Gucci Man going to jail 5 times to say, you know what, shit, I got a fan base, nigga. I ain't trying to go back to selling dope. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much I talk about it, I shit. Like, I read that whole book in a week. I was amazed. I said, shit. He really changed. But it took him going almost away forever, basically. He was facing 40 years for him to get his
probably met somebody. They probably met somebody in there who basically was like, look, bro.
No, it was really it was his woman though. That's what it was.
Well, like, hey, that might be something. Still met someone, bro.
yeah. I'm just saying
that's what it takes.
But I mean, and then you got this Uncle Murda song, Jadakiss, and it's cool. I fuck with it. Uncle Murda batting 1,000 now. He finally, he stayed down until he came up with the, they don't make him like they don't make him like that no more. Like, he really was talking about how, people that's in the hood or whatever, they shouldn't snitch. They should keep it solid. They should keep it, 100. They should do X, Y, and Z. But it is what it is. Like, shit. I mean, I don't know, man. What do you say to a person that has that type of mentality? Because
what, on that hood shit all the time?
Yeah, I mean, but how they like basically saying that they don't make it like that no more, because like that people shouldn't snitch. I feel like people should snitch. They should get, because we need to get these motherfuckers up out of here.
I think the problem is okay. That's a two-part answer here. So the first thing is the people on that hood shit. The thing is, a lot of them don't know, and this is a conversation I was having with someone a few days ago. Is a lot of them don't know because there's not a lot of media out there of us as a whole, as a people, doing positive things. It's always us doing hood shit, partying, drinking, or being entertainers. You don't see us in roles that are on a constant basis on TV like other ethnicities. And so for us, we fall into that trap of what our peoples before us did, or what people on the corner on the block doing. And then we go to schools and we might have a black teacher, or we might go to have a black principal, but they on that hood shit too, because they teaching in the school, and that's their way to go. They're gonna connect. And really, they don't really facilitate you trying to learn any more than what the school wants you to learn. Like, I've not had any real black teachers actually push the envelope and say, I'm gonna teach you something that ain't on the curriculum. So like, you're growing up in an environment where it's deliberately been structured to put you into a box, i.e. the project. It's a project, and the project ain't been finished yet, and that's the problem. But the only way you can change the mindset of somebody like that is you got to move them out the hood, and you got to take them into places where there's not going to be a lot of black folks. It's going to be a lot of white, Asian, Hispanic, Indian, Arab, etc. You got to pull them way out that comfort zone. You got to let them travel. You got to put them on some of these planes and these trains and take them to different states and take them to different countries and different nations for them to really expand how they view themselves and see that they more than just what's on standard U.S. television now. As far as damn, what was the second one thing you wanted me to answer?
I was saying, like, why are these guys, or why are these guys sitting up, trying to perpetuate that these people that's in the hood, that's in the projects, not snitch.
Not whatever. Thank you.
I feel like it should you know, it should.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying it should be that way. It should be.
Okay. All right. I'll tell you why they don't snitch, and this is going to sound like a very terrible example, but bear with me.
No, I know that why they don't snitch. Why are they encouraging other people to not snitch? And it's actually, in my opinion, snitching is helping clean up the community, because I feel like if everybody did not condone the bullshit that goes on in the community, then the shit, it's a trickle down effect. If
snitching, let's wait. Let's back up a minute. Snitching is not going to clean up the community. Yeah, snitching, no.
I think if that, and then you got people that's in the community that's got some pull or some influence or some muscle to say, yo, we not finna sell drugs in the daytime to kids in our community or whatever. Or period. It should be somebody in the neighborhood that is cracking down on the drugs, or somebody in need, because the police ain't gonna do it. They gonna just, they writing the tickets.
Well, you gotta
hold on, let me finish. It should be somebody in the community that is going to stand up and say, yo, this ain't, because back in the day this is what they did, but we don't have that now. And I think because we don't have the fathers in the homes beating these kids' asses for whatever, and then for fucking up and doing this bullshit. We don't have nobody in the community that's gonna hold these kids accountable and hold these people, these grown ass people that keep influencing these kids, the big homies, i.e., that keep on doing this shit. So, or these people that feel like that the dope game is the only way to go, or if you in the streets, you shouldn't tell on nobody, because it does need to be. People need to quit being afraid. That's the other part to it too, is that people are afraid to talk about this shit, to get this shit up out of here, because they feel like they're afraid that a motherfucker gonna come, like you had told me the story about the pastor in your hood that was giving away turkeys, and the nigga came through. And
he wasn't a pastor. He was the dude that ran the local Chevron. But yeah, dude rolled up on him and got mad because he wanted an extra turkey. And dude was like, you gotta get to the back of the line for the extra. And he pulled out his 38 and shot him in the chest. Now, anyway, to the snitching thing. The reason I say snitching ain't gonna clean up the community, because you got to go to the source, and the source is black folks don't own no planes, black folks don't own no trains, black folks don't own no boats, and you got to remember these drugs came here from out of the country and then got distributed to people in the country when they couldn't get work, and that's how the drugs got into the community. We didn't bring the drugs in. We didn't come with the drugs. And let me keep going. You work, let me work. Okay, so
Breezy, what happened? You muted yourself. Breezy. Oh shit.
That's how the drug is found. Rules and selling to people outside of the
Breezy. Hold on. You broke up. So go back. Cause break it down, Breezy.
Okay. So what I was saying was, to the OGs who used to be the ones in the 70s and 80s selling this shit, they had a code.
You breaking up now again, Breezy. Damn, they trying to stop us from being great. They had a code and what? Breezy. Oh shit, Breezy.
Purposely.
Hold on, Breezy. Hold on. You went on. Okay, so you said. Start over. You said that they had a code.
Okay. They had a code. The OGs had a code. See, we talk about some real shit and the internet don't want to work. Okay, so the OGs had a code. And the code was, you didn't sell to people in the neighborhood. You didn't sell during the day, and you didn't sell to kids. And if you saw a kid getting involved in it, you shoot them away from it. If it came to alcohol and cigarettes, Black and Miles, any of that, you shoot them away from it. This was an adult thing for adults. That's what it used to be. Then you come up during Bush Sr. and Nixon, and then finally, and Clinton. Now, these presidents are not in order, so bear with me. But you had rules and laws put into place to crack down specifically on the Black community and remove what one could argue was this wall this wall that prevented the youth from falling into the same trap. The money would come into community and would be distributed amongst the community in ways to help uplift everybody. And once they saw that, they deliberately wrote laws and regulations to get these people, throw them in jail for life, essentially, to fuck it up. So then you get the next group of people come in, which was the Hispanics, the whites, and blacks from other communities where these guys were already cleaned up, teenagers, and they get them selling and they start the process. And now because these fathers ain't in the home, because they was doing what it took to make ends meet back then when they couldn't get work, because you got to remember, black unemployment in this country has always been in double digits. It's never been single digits. So they brought these new black dudes in to basically get the younger youth to continue this bullshit. And then you get to where we are today. Now, the no snitch policy. The reason the no snitch policy is not going to work is because, yeah, you pull off that grunt off the street, he gets replaced by another youngin in the neighborhood, or they go grab another guy from another neighborhood in the city and put him on that corner. So you're never going to clean it up that way. You got to stop it coming in all together. The planes, the trains, the boats. Now, the snitch policy.
I'm going to say this too real quick. I mean, the snitch, I understand what it was put in place for, whatever, but I'm just saying that motherfuckers have a choice. When motherfuckers still have the choice. Now, granted, I'm not rich. Breezy ain't rich. You know what I'm saying? But we got our freedom. We get to live. We get to go places. We may not be able to do everything we want.
You only know you have a choice until it's presented to you. And that is fact.
No, I mean, but it ain't even about the choice. It's about the choice. It's the decision.
A choice. A decision is a choice.
Okay, what I'm saying,
decision is a choice.
But even then, it is a choice. People just are choosing, I'm gonna sell this dope.
They don't know they have that choice. But to you, it's okay. To you, listen. We all rode
the same fucking school bus back and forth. We all motherfuckers had times when the lights was off and the cable was off and the water and the heat was off and we couldn't go. We had to eat, ramen noodles, or we had to eat hamburger helper back to back. Everybody that been through this shit. So when you get to, like, when I was coming up with the guys, I was, the niggas that try to show niggas a better way, you get cussed out. You fight with these brothers. You end up getting in conflict. At the conflict, you trying to show these brothers, yo, it's a
because
way.
They don't believe you. And let me explain the shit. Let me explain
I understand they don't believe you, but
when you say choice, you have to understand. You have to understand when you say choice doesn't mean am I gonna eat peanut butter and jelly today or am I gonna eat ramen noodles? When I say choice means that there's somebody in your life, somebody in your circle, somebody that you can confide in, that you can trust, who can show you there's an option. A lot of these people don't know they have options. A lot of them don't know they have it. I didn't
have no option, but I didn't have nobody in my corner. I had people that told that that were examples, but did nobody show me how to do this shit or show me like everything I came along. I'm just saying, I'm just using me in this example.
But you can't use yourself as an example because you are an exception to the rule. You have to look at the whole. When you look at the whole of the black community, when you look at us as a whole, we are exceptions to the rule because we had people in our lives, whether we want to admit it or not. We had people in our lives that we could point to, we can look at and say, oh, they do stuff differently. Why do they do it this way? And they took us by the hand or hand on the shoulder, and they slowly nudged us in this direction. A lot of people don't have that option.
Okay,
when you just look at it as like me, no.
I'm still saying, check this out. Still, people are taught, even at a young age, because I'm gonna really get into this shit now, real quick. At a young age, we are taught what right from wrong is. Motherfuckers know right from wrong, but they feel like because they don't have a choice because they starving right now. They can't, they can't make ends meet right now. Their mama working 4 or 5 jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, she working double overtime. She got 3 jobs and shit like that. So motherfuckers feel like that I gotta go sell this dope because I don't want to see my mama struggling. Now, hold on right quick, right? Let's stop right there. Did nobody go tell her, nobody mama, to bust it open and go have these kids when she knew she couldn't raise them? And we all got to start taking some personal account. I understand that this is how it was designed, but at some point, motherfuckers got example after example after example after example. It ain't like motherfuckers we in the hood. We don't have. It ain't like we in a third world country, Breezy, where we feel like we gotta go fight for the insurgency or we gotta go fight for the regime because we don't have internet, we don't have telephones, we don't have libraries.
But you understand, you learn. You said you hit the nail on the head. I mean, when you mention example, stop. When you mention example, you learn by example. And if the person who's giving you example is a fucked up individual, guess what you're gonna be? A fucked up individual. No.
You can break away from it. I had fucked up most of the people that was in my life, and a lot of people that's in our circle, not just you, but other people that I know. We had our parents was fucked up. Our people they was either selling dope, using dope. They was hurt. They was sickly. They had been working. They had been trying to make ends meet, and their bodies is breaking down and shit like that. So they play these manipulative ass games with us to feel like we have to take care of them, and we can barely take care of ourselves. We have people that we know they ain't got shit to eat. No, they ain't got because their parents is fucking, like you said, it's fucked up. So, but my point of it is, at that pivotal moment, motherfuckers just decide to do the easiest thing, which is to sell dope, shake ass, or sell ass. And it's the easy thing. It's the easy thing to go.
Listen,
you see it.
It's the easy thing. It's the easy thing because it's the most readily available thing to you. It is the choice you see in front of you. It is what you see. It's your perception. That is what you perceive you need to do based on the circumstances of your environment that were constructed that way.
People still have to, but I'm saying, I don't agree with that, Breeze, because you still know right from
listen, it's not a matter whether or not you agree with me. It really isn't, because this is a fact of our people.
No, but I'm saying
you can look at the history.
But at the end of the day, it's still, you still have the choice when you go, and a lot of motherfuckers, even before I've seen it, but I know a lot of motherfuckers say, "Yo, are you sure you want to do this?" Before they go pick up their first drive, they go on their first sale or their first drive-by or their first robbery. They ask motherfuckers,
exactly.
But are you ready to do this shit?
Okay, but see, that's a perfect example. You got a homie who's like, "Yo, are you sure you want to do this? Are you ready to do this?" Now, it shouldn't even have got to that stage. If he had questions or doubts on his homie's loyalty on whether or not he wanted to ride, he should have been told his homie, "No, you're not gonna do that. Instead, I'm gonna take the money that I make from me slinging dope and gang banging and feed it to you to go off to college and have a better life." But even the homie who has his homeboy in the car, who's questioning his loyalty, doesn't understand that he can give his homeboy the option to get out of it completely. This comes from education. This comes from understanding your environment and the system that's been constructed to put you in this position in the first place. And that is what I'm talking about. That's why the shit keeps going on and on and on. We can run down the list of black leaders that have come along who've all been assassinated, all had targets painted on their backs and everything else through our entire people's history. And the same shit keeps happening again. Why? Because it's constructed that way. When you say choice,
I understand that, but I'm saying I understand that things have been happening that way, but I feel like at some point, because I had the choice, it didn't matter about
you had people that were
but that didn't mean shit because then the niggas didn't have no fucking money, Breeze. We didn't have no fucking money.
Listen.
By the time I had got to be,
what do you hear? Okay, perfect example. When you watch the kung fu movies, and you have that old kung fu master teaching them about a different way of thinking in life and enlightenment.
But still, Breezy,
it's a mindset. It's a mind frame.
It's still
you focusing on money and everything else.
I'm still saying though, Breezy, that with that, even if you have, I know motherfuckers who've had more than I had as far as advice, counseling, things of that nature, who were from better neighborhoods and all that, but still chose ignorance. Because what about them motherfuckers? These kids that's coming.
I can explain them motherfuckers perfectly.
But I'm just saying,
I explain them perfectly right now. If you want me to.
They wanna be, because they think the shit is cool, or they think the shit is whatever. I already know what
because they don't. I'll tell you fucking why right now. Because of the media. They see the motherfucker turned down for what? Nelly sliding credit cards in girls' ass, making it rain in the bank, not knowing that that is only like 1% of living that hood life. They don't understand that shit. So when they see it coming from a great environment, they look at, oh, this is fun. This is party. Yeah, I gang bang. I do all this shit. But then when the fucking fire get hot, when they realize that shit ain't no fun, that's when they run back.
But some people go and get in too deep and they can't run back. So
and then they die and they go to prison.
But see, my point, but this is my point though. If those people are impressionated by something, and they were as something that was different than what they were used to, and they think the shit is cool, they have been shown. So it don't matter if you got the good advice. It comes down to the good advice or the good upbringing. Because I was watching the video the other day. This kid in the fucking suburb, he got a Spotify playlist. The mama came in the room, sitting up there, listening to all the songs, listen to the lyrics, shit like that, cussing them out, talking about some, this is the shit you be listening to. And the other little sibling is in the other room listening to the shit. Because they all on the same Spotify shit, all listening to it. He just happened to be in the room with it turned up loud and listen to the shit. So my point of it is, motherfuckers can have good choices or whatever, and still good influences, good home structure, good. I just seen a whole bunch of motherfuckers. Justin Bieber, prime example. This nigga had all the motherfucking counseling in the world, but as soon as he got around some niggas who was on that bullshit, he had Usher in his life, L.A. Reid in his life, motherfuckers who was black, white, Latino, everybody in their mom. But he chose to be on the nigga shit.
I can pick Justin Bieber right now for you. Right now, I can tell you the whole timeline of Justin. If you watch some early videos of Justin, early videos,
I know
he was on that rah-rah shit. He's always been on that rah-rah shit. That nigga, rah-rah shit.
It ain't even about that. But some cultures in that white suburban culture, that's how they look at black people. So it's everybody on that rah-rah. Some people just choose to record it and put it out there, and some people are being closet racist.
But Justin, if we're talking specifically about Justin Bieber, Justin wants to be black. He wanted to be black. He wanted to be cool. And what happened? He went and got himself a bunch of niggas and cut out his troops of people who were telling him, stay away from that, Justin. You don't need to do that, Justin. Why are you behaving this way, Justin? L.A. Reid went so far as to pay niggas not to put out the video of him talking about what's the one thing black people are, or what's the chainsaw say that make people black people scared? Nigga. Like, they pulled out the stops to get him not to do that nigga shit. And what happened? He went and did that nigga shit. Then when people started treating him like a nigga, Paul Mooney says everybody want to be a nigga until it's time to be a nigga. And once he realized that, what did he do? He cleaned up his act. He cut his hair. He wearing fucking all types of name brand French motherfucking shit. You can't see him around a nigga. You can do the same thing with Miley Cyrus. When Miley Cyrus was coming up, she wanted to be the pure, pristine Disney princess bitch. Then when she got cold, she wanted to jump into black culture and get fucking hot. Then when people started saying, oh, you slumming with black folks, you like niggas, you a nigga lover. And then what did she do? She cleaned up her act and couldn't be spotted near another nigga.
Well, but my point of it is, some people get indoctrinated. But my point of it is, people can have all the influence, and that prove my point. You would have all the influence, you would have all the money, you would have all the opportunity. It is on you to make the choice to say, hey, I'm not going to, even when it's all stacked, because I mean, shit, I know people who had it, who was coming up in them even if they was in a nice neighborhood, nice, nice clothes, nice car, all that shit. They want to be cool, they want to follow the crowd. The crowd may be that they feel like the dope is their only hope. So they, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why
I understand what you're saying, but the argument
is
okay.
My point is motherfuckers got to, at some point, what happens after the first couple of times niggas get locked up and then they realize, okay, they want to blame the system, but after they didn't got to a certain, that's why I bring this shit back home. After they get to a certain point, yeah, they might be having yes men around them and shit like that, but it took Gucci Mane, this nigga went to jail 11 times to say, you know what? When does motherfuckers have? When do motherfuckers have? Because I'm just saying, when do motherfuckers have it in them to say, you know, I'm gonna stop being on next shit? When do motherfuckers have? Because I understand
when they get around a person. When they get around a person and they around that person 24/7, and then they get away from Gucci. Listen, we can look at Gucci. We can look strictly at Gucci. Gucci been to jail countless fucking times. Gucci been on that hood shit countless fucking times. And I'm telling you, when Gucci went that last time, I'm telling you, he met somebody, whether inside or outside being his girlfriend, and he stayed around them. And that's what changed him. When you won't change, change isn't something you do on the weekend. Change is a lifestyle. And that's the thing. You looking at change as something these motherfuckers are gonna gain overnight. No, this is a lifestyle.
But it has to be a choice. He even said, I made the choice not to be on the nigga shit. He said that.
But his choice came from what? Going to jail, being around someone who said you didn't have to do that 24/7. Well, if he met that girl and broke up with her, he'd be back on that hood shit.
Well, but this is my point. Not everybody has that person, and those people who.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what our whole argument is about right now. You realize that.
The point of it is, not everybody has a mentor. Not everybody has. Some people got it all the way out the mud, and they didn't have people in their corner. Not everybody has a person in their corner to make them say, you know what, I'm going to be something or better myself. Motherfuckers have to make the choice, because in that moment, like you said, they can either follow the leader or they can take the road less traveled. And some motherfuckers, a lot of motherfuckers follow the leader. Some people by themselves, independent. Because I did have people growing up, but by the time I was 16, 17, most of the people died. They moved. They was in their own lives or whatever, and people could give two shits about the Killzown. And when I was broke at my mama's house with 2 nickels. I had been running around trying to hang out with niggas, impress niggas on these websites, fucking around with these hoes and all this other shit. I didn't have nobody in my corner then. I had 1 or 2 options. You know what a nigga did? A nigga went out and looked for a job. A nigga went and picked this motherfucking shit up right here and went out. And I make that independent.
But up until that point, when you decided to make the change and you've been hanging around all these niggas on all these different websites, you saw the options in front of you. You saw the other people around you doing the same shit we doing now that managed to pop off, who got success from the shit. So you knew, hey, I don't have to try to pretend to be cool around these lame niggas who ain't made nothing. I'm going to get on the same shit as these other niggas who doing the same shit as me who popped off. That's what I'm going to do and stop trying to pretend to be fucking cool and shit. That was what was presented to you.
But I'm saying, we still in school. We still have, everybody got Black History Month. I know they still got Black History Month in the motherfucking schools because they still got it. They ain't outlawed it yet.
That's a whole conversation.
But my point of it is, they have seen, even if Black
you can't even use Black History Month because Black History Month is about dead niggas.
Okay, but my point of it is, people know they using. Okay, that's not a good example.
No, but it's not.
Okay, but motherfuckers got these. Motherfuckers got. I don't even know what my phone is. Motherfuckers got cell phones. Motherfuckers got Instagram. Motherfuckers got Facebook. Somebody built that shit that we use. And
guess what?
Yes.
Guess what? Yeah, you're right. You have an entire library in your phone But if a motherfucker don't sit you down and say, hey, instead of looking up twerk team, instead of looking up Instagram thoughts, instead of looking up, when the next, Black Bad Bitches 7 coming out with the little chick with the Hershey Kiss nipples is coming out. How about you look up what Frederick Douglass did? Or how about you look up what, who Yahweh Ben Yahweh was? Or how about you look up some films like Hidden Colors or something like that? Learn some history about yourself and your people. Until somebody says it or they see it or it's mentioned in front of them, they ain't gonna do shit. Snoop Dogg had a great opportunity when he went to Jamaica, came back, and wanted to be Snoop fucking Lion for whatever reason. That lasted all of a fucking sunset. He had a great opportunity. All of these rappers, ball players, hip-hop artists, everything have a great opportunity. They ain't got to donate no fucking money. They ain't got to donate no damn money. They can go right now, have a public gathering in the middle of a fucking football field with some speakers and tell people, hey, this is what you're going to do. And after the season's over, I'm going to come here every weekend and we're going to talk about strategies. We're going to talk about shit. That is something that's meaningful when a motherfucker is in your life every day and you see them every week and you can look at them and you can hear them and they can give you good advice and give you good options. When a motherfucker is there for a weekend, 352 days out of the year or whatever, I'm fucking up my math right now, people. It don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. Even you want to use your example. You were writing on these sites just like me for years. And we saw these people for years. We were around them for years. If you did that shit for a weekend, there's no way in hell you would have chose this. Hell, bruh. No way.
But see, the thing about it is people got to still make the decision on they still gotta make the decision on if they gonna go down that path, and if they don't see it, it's people that just jumped in the game. Like I was listening to P from QC, this dude, little baby that's coming out. This nigga had he didn't want to be no rapper. All he did, he was selling dope, getting money, gambling with Gucci Mane and the Migos and shit like that, and they snatched him up. But even it took him going to jail. They had been trying to get him to rap, but he chose the streets. Rich Homie Quan even said, motherfuckers wanted me to jump into the music game and shit like that. I wasn't hearing them because I'm getting more money than these niggas. I'm getting more money in the street than rapping in the booth. So why am I gonna stop selling dope if I'm gonna keep getting, if I'm gonna keep getting this money over here anyway? So it took them to make the decision. They had every motherfucker in the world. Gucci Mane, motherfucker. They had who else did Rich Homie Quan had? Niggas have motherfuckers in their life who done did the shit and have been, and it's just as many that didn't have it, that made the wrong choice. It's just as many who didn't have it that made the right choice. It's just as many people that have had people in their life and made the right choice, and people who've had the people in their life and make the wrong choice. It's motherfuckers got to, at the end of the day, it comes down to you, because after it's all said and done, you got to deal with the actions that you make. I ain't gonna keep making it be the system of the white man. The shit starts with me. I could have went easily after all of that shit that I had in front of me. I could have said, fuck this shit, Breezy. I'm going out here and give me a bomb. I'm going out here and give me a Draco. I'm going out here because, nigga, I got to have this, that, and the third. I want a bad bitch next week. A bad bitch today, not next week, not in 5 years. I want, I gotta have that shit. I gotta throw that twerk team tomorrow, nigga. I gotta do it like that. Cause fuck going to school, fuck this and this shit, fuck all that. And it's been plenty of motherfuckers that I've known and had good influence in their life and have flipped the script. It don't matter. It's all about if they want to put in the motherfucking word. If they go as many times, and just because we've chose to do this, I have failed over and over again. Motherfuckers be going, they want to rap. They put their first 2 CDs out, or first couple of singles. Niggas after that, they run out of money and they get discouraged. I was just having this conversation with my, excuse me, I was just having this, that was a loud ass fart, but I was just having this conversation with my girl the other day. She was like, well, you gonna get the game, but you got other stuff you need to do and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, shit, I already started this motherfucker on this channel. I need to start finishing this shit. We was just talking about this shit before you got on.
You absolutely
like,
right.
My point is I kept failing at some shit, and motherfuckers make the choice. You have people in your life that, I mean, shit, I got people in my family that had motherfuckers in their life, and they still chose to do the wrong motherfucking thing. It did not matter how much they had. They wanted to do what they wanted to fucking do. I understand now, as the vast majority, okay, yeah, I say there's a good segment of people that are in the hood that feel like that's the only way that they can do it. But then when
it's not just like, in the hood.
When niggas, I mean, wherever they at, then when niggas like me come along, they try to tell niggas about what the fuck is going on, what they got for you, what's happening out here, what they got for you, what they got planned, what's lying in wait. When motherfuckers trying to warn motherfuckers and try to get motherfuckers off, off the bullshit indirectly, because I know if I stick my neck, I ain't gonna be Colin Kaepernick where I stick my neck out for you niggas and I don't get one goddamn dollar back. I'm gonna try to tell you in a broad spectrum. I'm gonna tell you on an open form. But then niggas have tried to clown me. Niggas have threatened me. Niggas have done this, that, and the third. So because they wanna be on that nigga shit. It's because they've seen other people that they have been around. I could name motherfuckers right now. But I'm just saying we're gonna go around and around. We're gonna have to disagree.
The reason the reason we keep going round and round is because when we talk about choices, we switch from choices to decisions to mindset to mentality. All of this is something that's a part of a larger structure, and these are all subcategories that come back to how you were raised and everything like that. But you're right, as many people have went left, have went right, as many people went up, went down. But the key factor in all of that remains the same is they have to make a choice. What I'm saying to you and what I've always said to you is when you get a person who's lived their entire life a particular way, when they've watched nothing but hip-hop shit all being presented in a particular way, they build up the neural structure to believe that's the right way. We can completely remove this from the hood, and we can look at traditionalist Muslims, traditionalist Catholics, who from a young age have been indoctrinated into a way of thinking. And even now, when they come out of their religion, they still have issues eating fish. They still have issues eating pork. And all I'm saying is that when we look at our people as a whole, we can't look at how we did it. We have to look at the entire mural that's on the wall and say, okay, well, what's happening here and what's happening there and why is this like that and has this happened before in the past? And when we look at the big picture, when we look at the whole thing and we scan it, there's been segments and moments and movements where we get our shit together. Then an incident occurs, then we fall off. Then we get our shit together again, then it falls off. The same issues that me and you are having with trying to get people back in the hood or from various other places in our community on this type of a track where they can be financially responsible and mentally lifted and not trapped within the constraints that's been described to them by media. It's the same struggle Malcolm has. It was the same struggle Martin has. It's the same struggle Farrakhan has. Because we're not dealing with some people who are kind of on the fence and already thinking about changing themselves. We're dealing with the dude who for the last, 10, 20 years has seen the same shit, been told the same shit, been treated the same way like a battered dog. Like one of them puppies that's been in a kennel, ain't never felt grass or concrete under their feet. And they don't know. And when you tell them, they holler because they're not used to it. I'm being more compassionate about it, not just you motherfuckers are doing this because you want to do it. Y'all just want to be ignorant, because that's easy to say that. That's easy to just say, oh, you just doing this to do this. But it's
but see, well, it ain't easy because I've been trying to tell people, even in my city, about what the fuck is going on, what's out there. And ain't nobody got time to be sitting up here trying to get niggas, and they sitting up here talking about we gonna murk you and your whole family. They own nigga shit 24/7, like you said. That's a five. No, I'm saying I ain't even got time for that shit no more, man. Because it's like I can't lose sleep or brain power. We gotta get the motherfuckers that, like you said, that's like-minded. I don't need no motherfuckers that's on the fence. I don't need no motherfuckers because we can lead by example. Because it ain't no, because it's no, it's you can lead by example, or we can, like you said the other day, we ain't gotta put it out there what we doing until it's actually done.
And here's the thing about example: the best example is one you can always point to, which is facts. Yeah. If I showed you how to, like, if I threw a math problem on the board and showed you one example and erased it, chances are you ain't gonna understand it. You got to see it constantly, and that's the thing is like. Because I watch a lot of shit, bro. You know me. I watch conservative shit. I watch liberal shit. I watch all that shit. Same arguments repeating themselves, and it's just like, well, they do that because they do that, or they do this because they do that. And they blame the same way we talking about our people, the same way you got them ultra-right talking about normal white folk, or you talking about Asian folk. And it's just like, really critical on your people and not understanding what's going on. Like,
no, I understand what's going on, but the thing is, if I try to let them know, because they don't want to let go of, because I can sit up here and talk through the face, and I keep saying and keep doing, and I will keep saying and we'll keep doing, and we'll keep dropping the Black Nerd Brothers series. I will, do these vlogs talking about how we can change things. I will do those things. But but when I come in contact with these people directly, I can only do it indirectly. They gotta want to click on a video, want to see what I'm talking about, and want to be there. Just the same thing with this YouTube channel and everything else like that. And we keep it in so real. Everybody else is on bullshit right now.
Oh, absolutely. They gotta want it themselves. That's facts. But this is the thing. The people who want it themselves, they're already making that transition. They already done thought about it. And then the thing is if you have more people such as yourself that were there at the early stages in their lives, who were the constant example they can point to, like the night stars in the sky at night, it would be easier for them to realize, hey, this dude selling drugs, I ain't got to do that. Because Uncle Ray and them, every weekend they go over to this abandoned junkyard and they get a bunch of iron and copper and shit, and they take it to the scrap yard and they make $2,000 or whatever. That's the examples. It doesn't have to be, some fly you out to California, and got a bunch of bad bitches in your lap, because that's just a different brand of hood shit. It's just a different brand. Because you got to think, when Tupac left the hood, he went and just did a whole bunch of music videos of him fucking bad bitches non-stop. And then he had his other songs where he was talking about shit going on later on in life. Even he had to get past the hood shit. Even Biggie, and we know Biggie wasn't on that hood shit. Even he had to get past the hood shit. Diddy had to get past the hood shit. Like, all the people, all our rappers, Jay-Z had to get past the hood shit. And it took time. It took time for them just literally, honestly, decompressing and letting go and just deciding that, there got to be a better way. But it takes you being in a completely different environment. You couldn't take a person who's in fire and pull them 10 feet to the left, them still being partially in fire, and saying, you're not on fire no more. No, half their body is still engulfed in flames. They got to be pulled out completely. And I just want to talk about the snitch thing. We did beat the hell out of this topic. The snitch thing, that's a tough one, because unfortunately that's another lead by example. And to talk about the snitch thing in the full context is probably its own show, but the police have to lead by example. And I hate to say that, but they got to. When you got officers planting drugs, sexually assaulting women, raping women, beating people up, breaking their noses, their faces, and fellow officers who are paid to be the RoboCops, who are paid to be the Supermen, refuse to oust people on a department force due to their own police culture, and they won't tell on these officers who we know are doing these things, it's not a good example. Let alone the whole, if you snitch, you get stitches, if you snitch, you get killed, if you snitch, you go missing, because that's a part of it too. But it's like, if there was more of an open dialogue and a conversation about ratting out some of these who we know are bad officers who keep their badges and their guns.
I'm even saying beyond that, I'm talking about the niggas in the hood that is indoctrinating these young kids. Because if we remove them, this is where I think. I mean, yeah, we ain't gonna never stop the drugs coming over here, but we can remove the big homies and the niggas who out here that we can remove them so that we can then go to these kids and say, look, I know you finna go get this bomb, right? But it's an officer right there around the corner that's about to sting you and the big homie. The big homie, 9 times out of 10, half of them be snitches, and the other one is like Uncle Murda trying to figure out why it. You know what I'm saying? They try to figure out why they.
I get it.
You see what I'm saying? So
I see what you're saying.
We get them out of here.
Get rid of the big homie.
We get rid of the big homie because then because they didn't take the big homie out. The big homie got changed to the big homie who was going to indoctrinate them into the gang culture, so into the drug selling, dope selling culture. So that's why I feel like if we remove them out, if we keep talking to these brothers, and like I'm at a stage now that I'm like I said, I want to help, I want to change the mindset of everybody, but it's going. I mean,
get rid of the big homie and introduce him to Uncle Ray Ray or Cousin Luke or whoever who can let them shadow them as they work inside of the fucking TGI Fridays washing dishes or whatever, because that's all it takes is to get rid of one thing and present them with another one. Because most of the time when you watch the 48 hours later and the fucking behind jail cells, like even the youngins, when you watch the kids on some of these programs like Scared Straight and they sit them down and they talk to them, you start to realize that they parents ain't really parents, they ain't really there, the school don't really give a fuck about them. And the only motherfucker paying attention to him is that dude on the corner who's like, oh, I see your head down. Here's $10. Go get some ice cream and keep the change or whatnot. And the next thing you know, he done won them over with money and he done suckered them into that shit. So, I don't know, bro.
Well, I mean, we're going to come back, y'all, tomorrow because I think we need to talk about this because right now, this whole Meek Mill thing is going on.
Yeah, that was some bullshit what happened to me.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time,
did you hear what his lawyer did? Not the lawyer, the judge did, because she's being investigated now.
But see, the judge, but they knew. The only reason why it's going because the label is getting behind this shit now because they losing money.
Yeah.
Or when Meek got signed, this motherfucker went to jail so many different times. It was crazy. And at the same time, Meek got to still make a decision that he got into it when a nigga get into that type of position, and he admitted to himself, he said, yo, I need to get off the bullshit with Tax Stone, who was on the bullshit, who's still on the bullshit, who stays on the bullshit, who probably in jail for the bullshit, which he didn't even have to take it as far as he took it with old boy Troy Ave. But when you got motherfuckers that's on the bullshit, and they stand on the bullshit, and you then on top of that, you trying to make a change, but it's once you get up in that system, once you get up in that jam, I seen the change in me. I seen it. But at the same time, you gotta know at some point that you are being watched.
She fucked him over hard though, bro. But
this how I go though, because ain't nobody hopefully in Philly, when they get they have a record turnout on votes. I hope they just
the judge. Yeah, the judge came out and was like, "Oh yeah, the reason I'm giving you an extra long sentence is because you did a concert somewhere else and didn't notify me." And they're like, "Yeah, we did. Here's your signature at the bottom of the email notifying you and asking you if we can do it." So that's the whole reason he in jail right now. He would have had probation again. So that's why they investigated her now for her relationships.
But see, this is my thing is. Remy Ma said this the other day on the Breakfast Club. She said, "Look, I stay away from the bullshit because I could end up right back in jail." And when Meek had that epiphany, when Lil TK and them and all the other little rappers, when you had that epiphany, you I told you this. I don't know if I told y'all this story because I actually went to jail, went to juvie hall. My bad. And I wasn't arrested. I wasn't in trouble or nothing like that. I got into an argument with my mother. My godfather, who was a cop, took me down to the juvenile hall. He said, I'm finna leave. You finna go in here and you finna think about what you did. Took them handcuffs off, because I think I was handcuffed too. Took them off, put me in the jail cell, left. He said it was only a couple hours. I thought I was in there forever. And it took me being in that jail cell to realize that I never wanted to be in there again. Like that, I think that fuck Scare Straight, because people ain't watching. They watching it and be like, haha, that ain't gonna never happen to me. I'm slick. I'm gonna talk to my mama any old kind of way. No, you need to be taking these kids down by the busload and leaving them in there instead of going to detention in class. You go to detention overnight. No, you get you get a Lunchable. No Kool-Aid, straight warm water. We took the candy out the Lunchable. No mayonnaise, nothing. We need to do that all the time, because I'm telling you right then, if they know how I feel to be up in the jail cell for 12 hours, or let them go, let them be at ISS, but they got to get bused to a school where they getting, not strip searched, but they get searched. They get patted down. They can't use the phone, the computer. They gotta be in a room where ain't no windows. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. Because that's what I'm telling you. That right there was the moment. It didn't. Everybody else being in my, but I kept flashing back to that. I said, "Fuck, I don't never want it." My mama told me, said straight up, "I ain't coming to bail you out. I ain't coming. Don't you call me. You better act like I'm dead. You dead to me if you do it." So. And people mamas be saying this shit, but then when they get locked up, they put the house on the fucking, you know what I'm saying? But, my mom was dead ass serious. She picked the phone, called his ass, called the police too. And they watched just so it was legit looking, you feel me? Instead of him just picking me up, you know what I'm saying? Because whatever, I don't know what their relationship was, but the point of it was, bro, I never wanted to ever go. I wasn't officially arrested, nothing like that. I just never wanted to go. I got, I don't remember all the final details. I was like 8 or 9, but I always remember that shit from that day forward. I said, shit, I should be having nightmares about this shit. That's what needed to happen.
And okay, wait. See, what you just said now, all of this, even that happening, technically on one hand is illegal. On one hand, the second hand, it's shit. On the second hand of that, it's shit like that when it goes down could swing you either type of ways, and it shouldn't even that shit shouldn't even be happening. And this is the type of fucked up shit that leads to people really in all communities going on shooting sprees and everything else. It's like, look, these are human beings. Have a conversation. If you don't understand, take a break, come back, have a conversation.
No, they had the see, my mom, this is what my mama did with me. She had a conversation. I had got a whooping. I was fucking up shit in the house. I had already been talked to. I'd already been disciplined. The same thing that happened to, McNeil. Same thing that happened to everybody. But it just, at that point, I mean, it could go either way. Now, I didn't get beat. I ain't get no beatings.
Yeah, but you still should have never went and fucking had to sit in no goddamn facility like that.
That's what it
took. It's what it took because they decided that's what it takes.
No, but at that point,
I'm not co-signing that bullshit. See, that's that bullshit people like to co-sign. I'm not co-signing that bullshit.
I wouldn't, but I'm saying it was more effective because after that point,
it was more effective to give you PTSD and traumatize you to where you still have nightmares. That's more effective. That's what you're saying. It's more effective to fuck someone up like
breezy.
I don't got no chill with that shit like that. That's not me.
Hold on, breezy. What I'm saying is, I'm exaggerating a little bit on it. I don't have nightmares about it. I just remember that experience, and it made me not want to be there. And I'm saying that even if it's not we need to have the conversation, and the kids need to be shown that that's what's happening. They're scared straight. You know, it may. I think it works because when the kids get on there and they get to hollering and screaming at them and they get the fighting and all that, and they get restrained because they off the chain. And the reason why they off the chain is, let's go back to rewind it. The single mother, single parent household. The mama get her way because the mama is getting her way. Period. She getting free food stamps, free housing, free everything. And when she don't get away, she throw a tantrum. Same way these boys, these men are. And the women get trained up to be, you know, we ain't fuck, we independent. I don't want no scrub. I don't want no broke ass nigga. So they make sure they have them jobs and shit on that. That's why these women is kicking our ass right now, because they were trained to be independent. We were coddled, we were sheltered, we were put away from different things. And then once that happened, that's why we end up being in these streets, because we don't have nobody being a man. Because at the end of the day, mama gonna break down, she gonna cry, the bills need to be paid. She on the phone with the bill collector, you know what I'm saying? And it took a man to have the conversation. He didn't put his hands on me.
Yeah, he could have had a conversation about not taking you to the fucking wherever he took you. That's still fucked up.
They had the conversation. I was bad. I was a bad motherfucker. That's what I'm trying to
tell you. If you bad, guess what? Keep beating your ass, bro. Like, dog, beating the ass didn't work. Eventually it would have clicked. It would have clicked. I don't co-sign doing shit like that. The trauma trials.
I mean, some people
co-sign that shit.
It's some people out there that would say they don't co-sign whoopings, because that basically says that, you know, that it creates a fear, or creates a whatchamacallit,
it does,
a barrier between the parent and the child.
It does.
You know,
it does.
Some people use that as a last resort. But I'm just saying with that, because I mean, I got so many damn whoopings I can't even count how many whoopings I had. Boy, but I mean, shit. It was what it was. But I'm saying when
motherfuckers ain't wrong when they say beating your children affects their IQ and affects who they are as an individual and their personality. They're not fucking wrong when they're saying that. It's just the definition of a beating is two different ones, where you have one that's like a couple taps, you know, and you good. And then you have the ones where a motherfucker is just literally treating you like a punching bag, and that's when it's too far. But a structured disciplining is fine. That's perfectly fine. But when you start doing manipulative shit, emotionally manipulative shit, putting children in police cars and leaving them in places and shit, like, that's not fucking acceptable at all.
No, but I'm saying
what they trying to say with that bullshit, that's not acceptable, bro.
What I'm saying is, it may not have been acceptable, but between that and seeing all my friends being like, because when I got to about 18, 19, you know, even in the recent years in my 20s, I go back, I say, yo, I don't never want to be there no more. It didn't make me know the range because they weren't being, you know, he was still being respectful. He was like, look, you and your mama, I'm not gonna put my hands on you, because that obviously that ain't work. It don't work for everybody. But it took me going there, and I calmed down considerably. I mean, I still fucked up. I did some shit, broke some shit, you know, did some shit I ain't proud of. But I didn't do what I would have done, because I was trying to be cool. I was trying to fit in and things of that nature. So, and some people, like I said, they would prefer a time out. That's what it was. It was a light, a lit up area. It was a holding cell. I wasn't processed, but
still fucked up.
I mean, hey, but I'm saying sometimes that'll work. Because I mean, shit.
A beating will sometimes work. Choking sometimes works. Fucking tying outside to a tree sometimes works. You know, we can name all the different methods of discipline that sometimes work, but it doesn't change the fact that the type of shit
all of it's wrong, for real. Because you know, most people don't have to do that with their kids. They put them on punishment, and that's it. You know,
even if you have to, like, to me, even if the disciplining happened, you wilding out more, okay. Obviously, you know you're going to catch hell from wilding out more. You know that's coming. But if they did the exact opposite, okay, well, why are you wilding the fuck out? What's going on? You have a conversation about that?
The conversation, but I'm saying, the conversation was had up front already. We didn't just go from ass whooping to me being in the cell. That did not happen. I deliberately disobeyed, and that's the problem. Is motherfuckers think that because they see their mama getting away with everything. They getting free. They ain't gotta work. They ain't gotta do nothing. They ain't gotta. They just go. If they do work, they ain't real trying to really make a change. But they seeing their mama out here leaned out, heavy lean, heavy mollies, fake loud, like your boy Trick Daddy said, and they think that shit is cool. So they wild out, and they got their ass whooped, wild out. They didn't stop it. Like Chief said, I remember my mama used to whip me, now I could buy her ass anything. So that whooping may not always get it. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother show. This is a good ass, dope ass episode, man. Shout out to everybody, man. If you didn't made it to the end of the episode, who in the chat? Shout out to the people in the chat, man, to be in and out, through this whole thing. This is one of them ones for the books, man. Shit. Yeah, man. Like, I mean, hey. I'm in here. I'm in heavy grind mode all day, but I still wanted to come on here and give y'all a show. I still wanted to stream for y'all a little bit. Shout out to my people that's in the chat right quick, man. Shout out to Breezy. Shout out to my.
I know tomorrow I'm gonna be on time. I ain't grilling shit tomorrow.
Yeah, but shout out to and I will too. Hopefully, shout out to my mama. Get well soon. Shout out Young Lincoln. Young Link, hey, if you want to get on tomorrow, bro, I'll holler at you. But yeah, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to all my subscribers, man. If y'all want to support the show, man, we got PayPal, Patreon popping in the description box. We got Super Chat if you watching live. You just click the little dollar icon if y'all want to donate. Everything goes back into the show, the podcast. Up in the channel, the show, the podcast, the website, it pays everybody, that's gonna be on the website. Me and Breezy, I'm really last because I've been putting everything together. Breezy's been focusing on the game, but I make sure that I want to make sure I take care of him. I want to make sure I take care of Yuki the Snowman, everybody that's gonna be on the website, everybody that's on the podcast. I want to do giveaways for y'all, give back to the people that's been supporting, since day one or since day zero today. Shout out to everybody, man. I got to get up out of here. Breezy about to get back to work. This podcast. We be back tomorrow, y'all. Peace.
Yeah, peace.